Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica with Memory Box Candle Co. and I make videos all about the journey of starting a candle business. In today's video, we are going to be talking all about how to handle customer complaints. This is the part of business that is not always the most fun part of business, but it is a part of business. And I think that what happens a lot of times is that whenever there's issues that arise as a business owner, specifically a small business owner, a lot of times we can immediately get very defensive with customers if there's a complaint or there's an issue with something, and we feel almost personally attacked because, again, we can feel so really close and personally connected with our handmade products in our business. So in today's video, I really just wanted to walk you through how I personally handle customer complaints. It's really just 3 steps that I follow, and it works pretty much every time that there's a customer who has, maybe a candle that's not burning properly, or there's an issue, or a candle was never delivered, or just whatever it is where somebody needs to reach out to let you know that something was not right with their order or their product. This is pretty much how I go about doing everything. Also, real fast, if you are new here and you're wanting to start your very own candle business for yourself, I just want to let you know that I do have a free candle business launch checklist. It's ericamarieMorris.com/checklist. I'll have it listed right here so you can go there, and also linked down in the comment section below. This will also get you on my email list as well, which I'm trying to get better about getting back into emailing after having my son. I'm just trying to get back into the groove of everything. But I do love sending you out. It's mainly bi-monthly emails, so about 2 emails a month just with helpful candle business information. So if you're interested in that free checklist, go ahead and visit the link in the pinned comment of this video. So how do you rectify the situation when a customer has a less than stellar experience with your business or with your product? So the first thing that I do in step number 1 is to listen to the customer. So allow them to get out any kind of frustration or complaints, allow them to fully be heard. This typically is more something that you would do along the lines of if you're on the phone with somebody, but if you're through email and you're kind of getting an email from a customer, you as the business owner need to put your, I'm going to use this lightly, you get what I mean, put your ego to the side and really fully understand where that customer is coming from. The biggest advice that I can give in any situation when it comes to customer service is, what would you want that business to do if you were the customer in that situation? So reverse the situation and really put yourself in the shoes of your customer. So in this step number 1, this may be something that you as the business owner just need to take a step back, really understand where they are coming from, and try to understand maybe what had gone wrong or what the issue is, and then start to think about the solution. Try not to dwell too much on the who was wrong, who was right, what happened, anything like that. You always want to immediately think of, okay, well, how can I fix this? How can I rectify the situation to make sure that they're going to be leaving happy? So step number 1 can kind of seem like you are doing something, but you're not actually physically doing something because you're really just reading the email to see, what the issue is. But as a business owner, we kind of have to check ourselves and be like, okay, I need to really listen to the customer and really hear them out so that when I reply to them, they feel acknowledged and they feel heard. And that is actually step number 2. So I recommend step number 2 is acknowledge, apologize, and ask. So these 3 in step number 2 is acknowledge their experience, acknowledge the problem, and apologize, even if it's not your fault. An example of this is, let's say the post office never delivered their package, but it says that it was delivered. They delivered it to the wrong house, whatever it is. Apologize about that. We have no control over that. We didn't personally deliver it to the wrong address or not deliver it at all. But we have to apologize on behalf of the post office. We have to apologize about the situation because, again, this is a reflection of you as a business. Your business in and of itself is not just about how pretty your website looks like or, how your product performs or anything like that. A lot of times what people walk away with a lot of businesses is that if there's any kind of interaction that they have to have with the customer service of that business, that is a huge reflection and a huge determining factor on whether or not that customer is going to return again. So when it comes to situations where it's not your fault, I recommend to still apologize. And if it is your fault, or if there is an issue with the candle or whatever it is, apologize about that too. So acknowledge their experience and their concern and apologize immediately. You have to start it off like that, or at least I recommend it. That's how I personally do it. And then you want to ask some questions. And the reason why I recommend to ask questions is because specifically if it's a burning issue, or even if it's something where the package was never delivered, maybe you want to ask them, hey, is this your correct address? Is there an apartment number to this address that maybe was not inputted? And maybe that's the reason why it wasn't able to get delivered. Or, hey, are you trimming the wicks in between? Or are you maybe trimming them a little bit too short? Are you trimming them, like maybe all the way down? Or are you letting the candle burn for only 45 minutes and then blowing it out and now it's tunneling? There's a lot of different questions that you can kind of troubleshoot in that moment. And the way that I like to word that in the email is not necessarily to put blame on the customer, like, well, were you only burning it for 45 minutes and then blowing it out? It's more or less just the way I word it is letting them know, hey, I'm just wanting to gather as much information as possible just for my knowledge, just because I do try to make my products the best that they can possibly be. And this helps me to, get feedback to see, maybe where I went wrong in the formula process or whatever it is, because you never want to just place all the blame on the customer and be like, well, you obviously burned the candle wrong, so that's on you. That's not what you want to do at all. But you do want to gather information. So I recommend to acknowledge their concern, to apologize, and to ask them questions that can better help them have a better experience if they, let's say, get a replacement candle from this whole interaction. And step number 3 is to offer a solution. So depending on what the situation is, you may offer to send them a replacement candle. You may do a partial refund, a full refund, whatever it is that you think will benefit them, a discount code for another purchase, whatever it is that you think in that moment is going to be something that is going to make the customer happy. You never want to let them know what you can't do for them. I've always learned from the years of working in customer service and having to deal a lot of times on the phone or in person with upset customers. This is kind of the framework of how I always went about doing everything, and I kind of translated it over to my own business. And to me, it works every time. But you want to offer a solution, let them know what you can do for them. And a lot of times for me, that's either sending them out another candle or refunding them. Most of the time, refunding them happens, if there is another issue after they get the replacement, or just, I don't know, something happens, they're upset for something, I don't know. I really haven't gotten that many like really upset customers. I have gotten issues definitely that have come up, but nobody that's like really, really, really angry. So following these 3 steps, whenever there's an issue that arises with a customer, has really been the most beneficial thing for me and my business to ensure that the customer is going to leave with a positive overall experience. And I know the next question that you may be asking is, well, what if there's a customer that is not happy no matter what you do? There's just no pleasing them. And to be honest, it's going to happen. There's going to be times where there is going to be a customer and there is just no pleasing them. And in that situation, I would do one of 2 things. I would either ask them, what would you like? What can I do to make you happy? What can I do to rectify the situation and leave and have you leave the situation feeling satisfied with the result, and just hearing them out, hear what they have to say. And then if all fails, honestly, refund and move on. That's kind of how I go about it. There's no way that there's going to be a customer that is going to be taking advantage of you unless you let them take advantage of you. I think that a lot of times people think that if you go above and beyond with customer service, that you are just over pleasing the customer and you're coddling them and you're giving them everything that they want. But you can only go so far with that, or I should say the customer can only go so far with that on what you will let them get away with, basically. So if every 3 weeks they're buying candles and telling you there's something wrong, and then you keep sending them replacement candles and you've done that 6 or 7 times, that's on you as a business owner to sit back and say, hey, maybe this customer is taking advantage of me. Maybe I only let them do that one time, and then if there's another issue that arises, I would probably just let them know, hey, maybe our candles aren't for you. I apologize. We try to do the best that we can. Here's your money. And have a great day. That kind of thing. Just kind of end it there. Keep it short and sweet. And in all of these interactions, I really, 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 really desperately recommend that you keep everything very professional. Be as professional as you possibly can when you're following those steps that I listed before, step 1, 2, and 3, when you're kind of going through that to rectify the situation for your customer. Because if you are showing any kind of argumentativeness, passive aggressiveness, anything like that, you just don't want to do that because, again, you are representing your brand, you're representing the face of your brand, and you just want to make sure that you're trying to stay as professional as possible. So these are my tips for handling customer complaints. When situations like that arise, it can kind of be a little just, I don't know, it makes you feel just you just don't like it. You obviously want everybody to love your product, but like I've said before, not everybody is going to love your product. There are going to be issues that come up. We're business owners. If you're in business, this is going to happen, but it's not the end of the world. You just handle the situation as best as you can and move on. And worst case scenario, you refund and you move on. But with that, I am going to end today's video right here. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave it a big thumbs up as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at MemoryBoxCandleCo, and I will see you in my next video.